What if I told you that right there in your own kitchen, you have a poison that you probably consume daily thinking it's harmless? Something that drop by drop, day after day, is silently shutting down two of the hardest working organs in your body. I have spent years seeing in my practice the devastating consequences of this poison on my patients' kidneys, especially in adults who come to me when the damage, unfortunately, is already very advanced. Today, I am going to break the silence, but I won't speak to you in medical terms that no one understands. I will speak to you clearly, as if you were sitting here in front of me. I will reveal what the worst poison is that is intoxicating your kidneys without you realizing it. And the most alarming thing is that you have most likely consumed it this very morning. Stay with me to discover it, to understand its destructive power, and most importantly, to learn how to protect yourself before it is too late. Welcome. Thank you for dedicating a few minutes to the most valuable thing we have, our health. As a kidney specialist, my mission is not only to cure, but to prevent people from getting sick. And believe me, one of the hardest parts of my job is seeing wonderful people, full of life, suffer from kidney damage that could have been avoided. The problem with the kidneys is that they are champions of silence. They are the body's unsung heroes. Imagine you have the most advanced water purification system in the world, working 24/7 without rest. Those are your kidneys. They filter all your blood, removing toxins, waste, and excess fluids you don't need. But not only that, they also regulate your blood pressure, help produce red blood cells so you don't develop anemia, and keep your bones strong. They are the foundation for everything else to function. But what happens when this system starts to fail? No alarm goes off. There is no sharp pain to warn you. Chronic kidney disease is a thief. It settles in little by little over the years, and by the time clear symptoms appear, swelling of the ankles, a fatigue that doesn't go away no matter what, cramps, the damage can be very serious, sometimes irreversible. I have seen so many older adults arrive at my practice frightened, confused, facing dialysis or a transplant. And the question that always lingers in the air is, "Doctor, how did I not realize?" The answer is painful because no one warned them clearly enough about the everyday poisons that were sabotaging their health. That's why I am here, because information is power, and today I want to give you that power. We are going to unmask several of these hidden enemies. I have placed them on a list from the most common to what I consider the worst of all. So, stay with me. What you are going to learn today can literally change the course of your life. Before starting the list, it is key that you understand why, as the years go by, we become more vulnerable to these poisons. Age simply changes the rules of the game. Just as we lose eyesight or get gray hair, the kidneys also age. Their filtering capacity, what we call the glomerular filtration rate, decreases little by little with each decade. Think of it like the engine of a car with many miles. It still works, of course, but it no longer has the same strength as when it was new. Now, imagine that instead of giving that veteran engine good oil, we put in low-quality fuel and force it to climb hills every day. What do you think will happen? Exactly. It will break down much sooner. Well, that is exactly what many of us do to our kidneys without realizing it. For 50, 60, or 70 years, we have exposed them to things that in our youth did not seem harmful, but that leave a small scar. And those scars accumulate. It is this cumulative effect that can end in kidney failure. In addition, with age, it becomes easier for hypertension and type 2 diabetes to appear. And here, I want to be very clear. These two diseases are the two main causes of chronic kidney disease worldwide. They are like two hammers constantly striking the delicate structure of your kidneys. That is why anything that helps cause or worsen diabetes and hypertension is a direct attack on your kidney health. Today, we are going to give those attackers a name and a face. To make it clearer, I have prepared a list with 4 of these poisons. We will start with one that is neither eaten nor drunk, but is just as harmful. From there, we will move forward until we reach number one, the one that is undoubtedly the most dangerous, addictive, and widespread of all. The true wolf in sheep's clothing. Let's begin. Poison number 4, a sedentary lifestyle. The stagnant water that suffocates your kidneys. The first poison on our list, number 4, may surprise you because it is not something you eat or drink. It is something you do not do. I'm talking about a sedentary lifestyle, a lack of movement, spending hours and hours sitting, whether watching television or in front of a screen. You might ask, but doctor, what does sitting have to do with my kidneys? The answer is everything. Your kidneys depend on a strong and healthy flow of blood to do their job. Imagine a powerful river. The water flows strongly, carries everything away, and stays clean. Now, think of a puddle of stagnant water. Mud accumulates, everything rots, and the water becomes toxic. Your circulatory system is that river. When you move, when you walk, the heart pumps more strongly, and the blood circulates vigorously throughout the body, reaching with force the millions of filters in your kidneys. This blood flow gives them the power to clean your body optimally. But when you spend hours sitting, everything slows down. The blood flow becomes sluggish, like the water in a puddle. And this is the perfect gateway for the kidney's worst enemies: obesity, hypertension, and type 2 diabetes. When you do not move, your body does not use blood sugar properly, which leads to insulin resistance and eventually to diabetes. Inactivity also makes you gain weight, which forces your heart to work harder and raises blood pressure. Every extra kilo is an additional burden on your kidneys. The solution is to move. Do not panic. You do not have to become an Olympic athlete tomorrow. The solution is much simpler and within everyone's reach. Break long periods of sitting. If you spend a lot of time sitting, the first step is simply to stand up. Set an alarm on your phone every hour to remind you to get up. Stand up, walk around the house, go get a glass of water, stretch your arms. That simple act already reactivates circulation. The next step is to incorporate a daily walk. It does not have to be a marathon. Start with 10 minutes around the block. Next week, 15. The key is consistency, not intensity. Walking is one of the best exercises there is. It is good for the heart, controls blood sugar, strengthens bones, and of course, sends healthy blood flow to your kidneys. If you have mobility issues, there are fantastic exercises you can do in a chair. Move your arms, lift your legs, rotate your ankles. Everything counts. The motto is, any movement is better than no movement. Remember the river analogy. Every step you take is a wave of clean water for your kidneys. Poison number 3, the deception of harmless pain pills. We arrive at poison number 3. This one hides in plain sight in almost every household's medicine cabinet. It is that pill you take without thinking for a headache, back pain, or arthritis. I am talking about non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, the famous NSAIDs. Names like ibuprofen, naproxen, or diclofenac are familiar to all of us. Millions of people use them, believing that since they are sold without a prescription, they are harmless, and that is the great deception. Although they are very good for pain, their frequent or chronic use or use in high doses can be lethal for the kidneys, especially in older adults. Look, I will explain how it works in a simple way. For your kidneys to receive a good flow of blood, there are substances called prostaglandins that keep the small renal arteries properly open. The problem is that NSAIDs work by blocking precisely those prostaglandins to relieve pain in the body, but they do not distinguish. They also block the ones that protect your kidneys. The result is that the kidneys' arteries contract. They close, and the flow of blood and oxygen reaching them is drastically reduced. It is as if you step on the hose you use to water a plant. The water does not reach it, and the plant begins to dry out. The same thing happens to the kidneys, but the real danger is the silent damage. Taking these pills every day for chronic pain like arthritis is like stepping on and releasing the hose daily. Over time, the filters become damaged, scarred, and stop functioning. It is a slow process that does not show symptoms until it is already too late. The solution is to respect both the pain and the pill. So, what do? Just endure the pain? Of course not. Quality of life comes first. The solution is to be smart and, above all, to talk to a professional. First and most important, never self-medicate with NSAIDs on a chronic basis. If pain lasts more than a few days, the solution is not to keep taking pills. It is to go to the doctor to find out what is happening. It is not about silencing the alarm, but about finding where the fire is. Second, be honest with your doctor and tell them everything you take, including vitamins, herbs, and over-the-counter pills. Many medications for colds or sleep contain NSAIDs hidden in them. Third, there are alternatives for occasional pain. Paracetamol, acetaminophen, is usually safer for the kidneys, always in the correct doses, and explore options without pills. Physical therapy, heat, cold, or stretching can do wonders and reduce your dependence on painkillers. The golden rule is this: NSAIDs are powerful medications. Using them occasionally is fine. Depending on them daily without medical supervision is like playing Russian roulette with your kidneys. Poison number 2, salt, the invisible enemy in your food. We move on to poison number 2, and this is perhaps the most underestimated of all. It is in kitchens all over the world. I am talking about salt, or to be exact, sodium. Many people tell me, "But doctor, I hardly use the salt shaker." That is the big misunderstanding. The problem is not the salt you add, it is the massive amount of sodium hidden in processed foods. It is estimated that more than 75% of the sodium we consume comes from there, not from the salt shaker. It is in bread, in processed meats, in cheeses, in canned soups, in sauces, in frozen meals, in almost everything that comes in a package. The industry uses it to make products last longer and taste better. It is an invisible aggressor. And why is it so bad? Your body needs a small amount of sodium to function, but when we flood it, the balance is broken. To dilute all that sodium, the body retains fluids, makes you thirstier, and signals the kidneys not to release a single drop of water. The result is that the volume of blood in your arteries increases, and the pressure inside them skyrockets. That is nothing more and nothing less than arterial hypertension. Hypertension is the second leading cause of kidney failure. The filters in your kidneys are a network of very delicate, tiny vessels. Imagine trying to clean a silk cloth with a firefighter's hose at full pressure. You would destroy it. Well, that is what hypertension does to your kidneys day after day. It damages them, scars them, and destroys them in a vicious cycle. The solution is to become a label detective. Protecting yourself from this poison requires a shift in mindset. It is not about eating bland food, it is about eating intelligently. The most powerful tool you have is learning to read labels. Turn the package around and look for the word sodium. You will be shocked to see the amount of sodium in foods that do not even taste salty, such as some cereals or cookies. The recommendation is not to exceed 2,000 to 2,300 milligrams per day. If you already have high blood pressure, the goal should be 1,500 milligrams. The second strategy is to cook more at home. There, you have total control. Third, rediscover flavors. Nature has given us an arsenal of herbs and spices that transform any dish. Garlic, onion, pepper, oregano, rosemary, turmeric, cumin, paprika, lemon and vinegar are also great for adding flavor without a pinch of sodium. And one last trick, if you buy canned vegetables, rinse them well under the tap. With that simple action, you remove a large part of the added sodium. In just a few weeks, your taste buds will reset and you will begin to notice the real flavors of food. It is liberating. The worst poison, sugar and refined flour, the sweet and deadly duo. And we have reached the end. We have talked about a sedentary lifestyle, painkillers, and salt, all formidable enemies. But now I present to you what I consider the number one poison. The undisputed champion of silent destruction, the most addictive, the most present in our diet, and the one that causes the most devastating damage. This poison is not a rare chemical. It is something we associate with celebrations, with rewards, with affection. I am talking about sugar and its inseparable accomplice, refined flour. Yes, you heard that right. That white and sweet powder, desserts, soft drinks, and also white bread, pasta, and cookies. In my experience, this duo is the main reason why diabetes is the number one cause of kidney failure in the world. It is the path that unfortunately I see repeated again and again in my practice until patients end up on dialysis. Why am I so firm about this? Because sugar and refined flours, which your body converts into sugar almost instantly, do not launch a single attack. They launch a massive and coordinated attack from multiple fronts. Attack Front 1, the direct highway to diabetes. The number one cause of kidney failure is diabetes, and excessive consumption of sugars and flours is the main culprit behind type 2 diabetes. When you eat them, they trigger a tsunami of glucose in the blood. The pancreas goes into overdrive, releasing insulin to control it. If this happens every day, the cells become deaf to insulin, and sugar remains in the blood. That is how type 2 diabetes begins. Once blood sugar remains chronically high, the damage to the kidneys is severe. Sugar literally caramelizes the kidney filters, making them rigid and destroying them. This is called diabetic nephropathy, the fastest route to dialysis. Attack Front 2, hypertension. We used to think the blame was only on salt, but today we know that sugar is just as bad or worse for blood pressure. A diet high in sugar raises blood pressure, so even if you control salt, sugar will continue to strike your kidneys. Attack Front 3, silent inflammation. Sugar is fire for your body. It causes chronic low-grade inflammation that damages the inside of all your arteries, including those of the kidneys. Attack Front 4, obesity and fatty liver. Excess sugar that you do not burn turns into fat. This fat accumulates, causes obesity, another risk factor for the kidneys, and deposits in the liver, causing fatty liver, another condition that disrupts your entire metabolism and harms the kidneys. As you can see, it is a total attack. That is why I call it the number one poison. The solution is to regain control. The good news is that we can defeat this enemy. The key is knowledge. First, understand that sugar has many names. High fructose corn syrup, dextrose, sucrose, maltose are disguises for the same poison. Second, eliminate the most obvious sources. Sugary drinks, soft drinks, industrial juices, iced teas are liquid sugar. A single can can have more than 10 teaspoons. Replace them with water, sparkling water with lemon, or infusions. This is perhaps the most powerful change you can make. Third, be wary of low-fat products. They often remove the fat and fill them with sugar so they taste like something. Always choose natural versions. Plain yogurt instead of fruit yogurt, and add fresh fruit yourself. Fourth, replace white flours with whole grains. Real whole grain bread, brown rice, rolled oats. The fiber they contain slows down the absorption of sugar. And finally, embrace real food. Fruits, vegetables, legumes, meat, fish, eggs, nuts. When your diet is based on whole foods, sugar and refined flours almost disappear as if by magic. Breaking the chains of sugar is the most powerful act of defense for your kidneys. We have covered an important path. Today we exposed 4 silent poisons that threaten your kidneys. 4. A sedentary lifestyle that stagnates your circulation. 3. Painkillers, NSAIDs that can strangle your kidneys. 2. Hidden salt that shoots up your blood pressure. 1. Sugar and refined flours that launch a total attack against your body. You may now feel a little overwhelmed, but my goal is not to scare you, it is to empower you. The truth, even if it hurts, is the only thing that allows us to make better decisions. Kidney disease does not have to be your destiny. Each of these poisons is under your control. You decide if you get up from the chair. You decide if you consult a doctor. You decide if you read the label. You decide if you choose water instead of soda. It is not about changing everything overnight. It is about taking one small step today and another tomorrow. Every small change is a victory. Every home-cooked meal, every walk is another brick in the wall of protection for your kidneys. You have the power to change your health story. If this video has opened your eyes or made you think, I ask you to do something very important. Share it. Send it to your children, your partner, a friend. Life-saving information must circulate. And if you want to continue receiving clear and practical